That is a topic of the show.
I'm more of a tutor now.
You're a tutor now?
My kids will love that. I'm a tutor.
Let's wrap up the year. Actually, let me add that. Pretty sure YouTube doesn't like it when you curse within the first minute of your stream.
Yeah, like 7 minutes. No, it really is. It's like a very bizarre period of time.
All right, I know you guys can't hear Harry Mack. I apologize. I still don't know how to fix that for you guys. So, whatever.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They're getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
All right. Let's do this. Discord, are you ready for this?
All right. As ready as they're gonna be.
Oh, this is my least favorite part of the show is trying to get through the intro. All right. It's December 1st, 2022, and you're listening to episode 313 of the PHP Ugly podcast. We are three real-world everyday developers who make a living with the PHP programming language. And if this is your first time watching us, hello and welcome. We live stream every Thursday night around 9 p.m. Pacific time. You too can participate in that live stream by joining us in our Discord channel, which really honestly makes up a good part of the show for us. If you're so interested, you can head over to discord.phpugly.com, where the three of us and a bunch of the listeners hang out throughout the week and have great conversations. Let's see, what else do I have? I'm good at this. I've done this for a while. You can also subscribe to an audio version of the podcast on pretty much any podcasting service. We have a couple sponsors of the show, honeybadger.io and Cloudways. And as always, we owe a huge thanks to our Patreon supporters on Patreon. We'll talk more about all that a little later in the show. But for now, allow me to introduce myself. I am your humble host, Eric Van Johnson. And with me tonight is John Congdon.
I am ready to embarrass myself tonight.
And Tom Rideout.
I am ready to not embarrass myself tonight.
Well, this should make for an interesting show. Cool.
Real twist on our normal formula.
Let's see. How's everybody's week this week? Tom, let's start with you. Did you get
Past
caught in
2
HR
weeks.
this week? Oh yeah, that's right. We had a whole holiday there, didn't we? Past 2 weeks.
Yeah, doing pretty good. Keeping very busy. It's managing or architecting a project. Sometimes you just have these days where you don't get any coding done. You're just doing reviews. You're doing architecture stuff. You're keeping charts up to date, and I am trying to stay accustomed to that and comfortable with that. But sometimes I get to the end of the day and I'm just like, I've done nothing. I hate this so much. But the project's going smooth, too smooth. Had a meeting with the PM and they said, I'm worried because nothing's gone horribly wrong. And I was like, hey, same boat. Nothing's horribly wrong. Don't know why. It is deeply concerning.
I thought you
But-
were supposed to be doing PM. Last time
I'm doing some project management work, but I'm not the official PM here. So
Okay.
seeing as I've only been here a couple months. So yeah, just keeping busy or apparently busy and living in fear of the future. The next 2 weeks are going to be pretty chaotic, but it's coming together really nicely. I'm very happy with this project.
What's
Chaotic
what's the,
work-wise, or because of the holidays, or both?
Just because of the timeline, it's a very sharp timeline. I have a January release date for this project, and it's got a lot of big refactoring stuff in it. So it's a tight deadline. Everyone's sort of scrambling to make sure we hit it. We're working on bringing in other teams to work on stuff in parallel. So
That's got to be hard, especially with holidays coming up, knowing that people take time off usually.
yes, very. I'm pushing all of my holiday time off to my birthday in February, early February.
cool. How about you, John?
Mostly great. I mean, it was a great holiday weekend. It's lots of family time, which was fantastic. Got to spend time with my kids. We do dates with the kids, so we just like my wife takes one, I take the other, and then vice versa. Just a good time. Until we hit today, and you got today's release day, and I'm on call on Thursdays, and of course things go bad.
Oh.
It was just a database issue, and we still don't know why. Restarting MySQL on the replica fixed all the issues, but it took us an hour to get to that point. Like, it's hard to just restart a database service. Worrying about
Absolutely.
taking things out, messing up inserts, and cross fingers that nothing broke when we did that. But
Cool.
got up and running.
Cool. Well, I enjoyed
Cool.
my holiday weekend. Although, actually, I'm a little disappointed. Well, first off, big shout out to my Spanish-speaking kid in Discord for the USF hat. This was my thanks for helping them with all their Python homework. So, got a new hat, and I'm still wearing my hat. So, I feel like I have a little explaining to do because I started wearing the hat about 6 months ago. I started wearing hats because my hair started growing out. And if you know me, I've always had very, very short hair, if hair at all. Like there was a long time there where I'd just be completely bald, and that was by design. But about 6 months ago, I stopped cutting my hair. Well, I didn't. I mean, it wasn't like it's nothing I decided to do. I just realized like time had elapsed and more time had elapsed, and next thing I knew, I had like a little hair, so I started wearing hats, and eventually it kind of became one of these things like, well, how long can I grow my hair? Like, I haven't had long hair since like high school, And so I kind of let it go for a while, and it's gotten like pretty long. I mean, if you know, like, this is a lot of hair for me. And I was looking forward to having it cut off last week. The family decided that, because I said, I'm cutting my hair. I'm tired of it. I'm going to cut my hair. So I was going to cut it off last week, and the family said, well, wait for us all to be there. And
It's a big event.
We will all, because we want to go through phases. My one kid wants to see how I look with the comb over. So they want to shave the top of my head completely off and, see if we can do a comb over. And, we have some things, we have some designs we want to work through, and it ended up not happening. So now I'm debating. It's like, do I want to try to push through to Christmas? I don't know if I do or not, but Beck, my wife, mentioned getting Christmas hats for me, kind of like what she did for me for Halloween. Do the same thing, but with hats for Christmas. So I think, okay, if I have Christmas hats, maybe I'll just go ahead and push through to Christmas. But this is a lot of hair for me, man. I'm telling you. Oh, man.
First world problems.
Exactly. Real happy, as professionally, pretty happy, pretty excited. We're working through the kind of project that I've been working on for a while, where it's kind of a sink or swim situation where we're going to throw some load testing at it and see what it takes to break it. And I kind of have my hopes up. Probably not. I have no reason to be too excited about it, but I just there's part of me feels like it can take a lot of requests, and I'm looking forward to see what it can actually take. That's a big thing for the client that we developed this piece for, is they really wanted to be able to handle a big load. So we'll see how it goes.
When are you planning on doing that? Any timeline?
Yeah, this week would have been good, but probably next week. Need to reach out to you.
It's a bit late in the week to get that going.
Yeah. John,
yes.
I don't know how it's going for you, but for me personally, this transition from Diego Dev to PHP Architect has been an exciting one. And one of the things I looked forward to for the transition is that, the swag we wear, I'm wearing my PHP Architect shirt, John's wearing his, I have my hat. I always wear my hat. Again, I'm wearing a lot of hats. I always wear my hat to the dog park. And to me, it's very obvious what we are. And I just can't win with company names. So with Diego Dev, nobody knew what Diego Dev was. They thought we were construction developers for buildings, and they thought our name was Die God for our email address, and I mean, it just never worked out. So with PHP Architect, I'm like, all right, this is clear. We absolutely know what we're doing. And sure enough, somebody comes over to me at the dog park yesterday. He says, "So, how long have you been an architect?" I'm like, "Huh? Oh no, I'm not an architect. I'm a developer." He goes, "Oh, developer. Okay." And he walks away. I'm like, "Yeah, that guy thinks I build houses again. Damn it, he thinks I build houses." So yeah.
No, I work with concrete classes. No.
I don't know how to fix it. I just don't know how to fix it.
Ground up, greenfield solutions. These are all programming things, right?
It's funny. I didn't even think about that part, but that's always been the same thing. Diego Dev. When I said developer, they thought the same thing.
Yeah,
housing developments of some sort.
Yeah. There was just no way around it. So, but we had
next company name is going to be Web Software Engineers.
Web software codey typey type people.
That's how we ended up with American Steel and U.S. Oil.
But we did have some exciting stuff happen. Well, thanks to John, and thanks to John for making me look like an idiot, I guess. But
what did I do?
the call for
Let 'em see the
papers.
watch.
Call for papers for PHP Tech wrapped up. We are December 1st, so they had officially wrapped up yesterday at midnight Eastern time. Now I guess they've
was it
wrapped up.
Eastern?
Yep, it's Eastern. Now I
Okay.
guess they've wrapped up again 16 minutes later because John decided to extend it for a day. And PHP Tech call for papers is it a wrap, John? We done with this?
It's officially closed. I can't believe how many submissions we've gotten. I've been going through them, and just within the past week, like a week ago, we're doing a very simple evaluation right now where we've asked a bunch of people to go in, give thumbs up, thumbs down, just real quick evaluations. We're not doing an official choosing a schedule at this point. And I finished my lineup a week ago, got to 100%, and then all of a sudden I'm down to like 70%. I'm like, what happened? And it turns out there was a ton of submissions within the past week. I am super excited about so many of them.
Yeah, I would say
It's
it's
gonna
not
be
only
a
that.
Great conference.
Yeah, not only the submissions that we got a lot of submissions, because that was a real stress point for us when we did Wave. Is like, are we going to get enough talks? Are we going to get enough talks? And this one, it was like, all right, cool, we got a lot of talks, but it's the topics, I mean, just seeing some of the people who submitted, which I guess only you and I can see right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's I'm
I can see
blown
who.
away. I'm very excited. Very excited by it. But yeah, so Tech is marching forward. We got some sponsors, which we'll start queuing up some tweets on that. Hoping to lock down a few more sponsors soon. But yeah.
If you work for a company that does anything with PHP development, please reach out to us and let us know. We
Yeah.
won't tell your company that you told us to come bang on their door, but we would appreciate any referrals for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
think of one. They sponsor lots of like podcasts and stuff.
We've been trying to get our foot in that door for a while.
I know,
I'm working
man.
on it.
Wow. Do you know?
Yeah.
Did you guys know Spotify was down this week?
No, I don't use it.
I cannot develop if Spotify's down. It was a horrible thing. Horrible
Well,
thing.
this week is their big year in review thing too, where they tell you the music you listen to as if you weren't the person listening to it.
It's like,
Yeah, I
you
know.
listen to this a lot. What's wrong with you?
I never got into Spotify. I don't know why. My new thing, I've always had like YouTube in the top corner over here where it's just playing stuff. And then if I want music, I just switch over to YouTube Music and just let that play.
Sometimes I use my my Echo device, and boy, that just has been a slow downhill march. I think
really?
About a week ago, if I would say play music from this artist, it would say playing songs from this artist, and then it changed without reason or notification to saying playing music from this and similar artists. It's like that is not what I asked for.
See, I can't do that because when I sit here, I feel so uncomfortable if I don't have my noise canceling headphones on. It's odd. So I couldn't listen to music that way. Like I almost feel like more comfortable just having them on. I almost feel like I should wear them all the time, like going to bed. Not really. But
Yeah, I still can't wear mine all the time. Like I like it, and I definitely get into a zone, but then I'm like missing. Like I feel like I'm missing somebody trying to talk to me, or I'm missing the dog trying to go outside, or there's always something happening that needs to be addressed that I'm just not taking care of. So
see, that's why I wear them, so that I can just tune everything out.
Must be nice to have that type of life there, John.
What can I say?
Doesn't matter. We wouldn't hear you.
What was that?
That's probably not good. Mr. I'm on call.
No. I don't know what that was. I was trying to mute my watch because it kept making noises. Every time somebody posted on Discord, my watch was dinging, so I was trying to mute it. So I probably screwed that up somehow.
That's definitely a first world problem.
That would be.
Talking about a lot of first world problems today.
All right. I said I was going to embarrass myself,
Right.
and I will. Looking back at my stats for the last week, I have walked over 30 miles in the past 7 days. All because
parachute gave out.
Well, no, that would be a better reason to walk. I started playing this stupid game because of some stupid PHP developers making me do this stupid thing. Playing Pokemon Go.
Oh gosh.
And I've been wanting to get back into shape anyway. I let myself go. I was drinking way too much.
Pokemon Go.
So I started doing this. I started walking. Today started doing a little bit of jogging. I feel better, drinking less, getting more exercise, and all because of this stupid game.
You got a Charmander too.
Did you really walk 30 miles then? You really walked 30 miles this past week?
Yeah. Yeah, I found
Oh.
myself getting out in the morning. I'm like walking the kids to school, which is a mile each way with the dogs. Lunchtime, I try to get out and I'm walking up to the local shopping center, which is a mile away. So that's a couple more miles. Sometimes at night I go again. I take the dogs and I'll walk there up towards the school. So I get like 3-4 miles in that way. Yeah, so yeah, just crazy.
I guess if you get 5 miles in a day, it's not that hard to do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, while you've achieved a new high, I've got a record low percentage. I've walked less than a mile in a month.
That's not good.
No, it's that bad.
In a month?
Well, I had to have the refrigerator moved closer.
I
Obviously.
mean, I know how often you go to the bathroom. That had to be at least a mile right there. Come on.
I mean, if you move the bucket once every 3 days, it's much less travel.
So we talked about it a little bit, and it just never came back up. But one of the things that Tom was, thought about when the new Apple Watches came out. Tom, you talked a lot about the crash detection, right?
Yeah, my friend gets it triggered all the time.
Roller coasters?
No, he likes to smack his wife's butt whenever she bends over just slightly.
That sets it off?
He is an aggressive, large man.
What? Jeez.
That really sets it off?
Yeah, he's like I said. I've been hit once or twice. It's a memory.
I feel bad for his wife, but I guess roller coasters have been setting it off.
Yeah, it's been a small problem.
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
The slapping your wife or the roller coasters?
Both.
Oh yeah, the roller coasters. The roller coasters been going on for a while.
Slapping her on the butt.
But yeah,
he's not going like straight across the face and causing her.
I don't know if he's slapping her hard enough where the watch wants to alert the police. It still might be too much, no matter where it's at. It's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah,
could be wrong, but kind of where I'm at. All right, are you guys feeling old yet?
Oh God, every day.
Yes. Why?
PHP 7 retired.
There is no PHP 7.
It is officially retired.
To be fair, I was on PHP 4 years after it was end of life, so doesn't mean a whole lot.
Hashtag humble brag.
It means you haven't kept up to date with PHP is what it means. It does mean a lot, but it just seems like yesterday we were happy to get PHP 7, but yeah, done.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a 2-month bump on support because of the issues with 8.2.
Yeah, but 8 and 8.1 have been out for so long. There's no reason to hold back on 7 being end of life.
That's
if you're going straight from 7.4 to 8.2, I mean, which I am currently, but that's beside the point. You've had a long time to get to 8 first. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, it's a sad day, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you can decide to support 7.4 yourself. I think there are some companies that will support 7.4 moving forward for their customers.
I mean,
But,
it's not going away, right?
no.
If there was a serious security flaw found, I'm sure there would be patches made, but nobody's compiling PHP themselves anymore, or very few people, so would probably be a pain in the butt to get it resolved.
I don't
But
know. The Red Hat decided not to include specific versions of PHP anymore. They've got some weird new approach to older versions of PHP that seems to be upsetting people.
Really?
Yeah. I had a ticket here for it somewhere. Let me dig.
Well,
While
while
you're-
you're looking
while-
for that, go ahead, John.
something I learned about, and I should just include a link to it here, because of our call for speakers, somebody is trying to what am I trying to say? Not redefine, but redesign PHP. So it's still PHP under the hood, but it's like a transpiled language. It's called THT, the Hypertext Toolkit.
THT.
And it's changing the syntax like
Yeah.
drastically, but I guess it compiles down to PHP.
What? You're talking
PHP
crazy talk.
THT is not just a transpiler for new syntax. It's also a runtime layer that improves nearly every aspect of PHP.
Oh, there's the link. I like it.
Yeah.
This is
I
craziness.
I mean, literally 5 minutes before we started recording, I saw this, so I know nothing about it. I haven't tried it. The person who designed or is developing this submitted to a talk to PHP Tech, and it says,
Really?
granted, it's still in beta, but PHP developers may want to know about it.
Here's a quick look. It looks like JavaScript. Wait a minute.
That was my first thought too. Like, it does.
Huh. Interesting.
But
Yeah.
that brings, while you're looking at that brings up a good question. I saw this on Twitter as well. How do you feel about the $ to define variable names?
That's fine.
I never really gave it much thought, honestly. I mean, I guess like I said, I've been doing some Python coding with my Spanish-speaking kid, and I kind of forgot that they don't. Other languages, not all languages use $signs.
So I was looking at one of our videos on PHP Architect, and somebody asked that, like, have they finally gotten rid of the $ for variable names? And I'm like, what? That's even
Huh?
a question, or that's people actually care about that? And I think I've just been developing so long that, I mean, even basic, which is where I started, use $signs, right? So that's all I know, and I haven't really thought much about it until they brought that up.
Mhm.
And then I saw this video, Lex Fridman on PHP programming, and they end up talking about it, and he's talking to somebody who is like, well, here's where it came about and why why the $ is so ubiquitous in programming. And I thought it was very interesting, really coming
Interesting.
from like shell scripts back in the day.
Let me see. I don't know if this is coming through. I think I don't. see.
There is a whole lineage.
We
of
don't need to play it.
programming
I mean,
languages.
on the
PHP
show, but
Oh, you know who that is?
one-
That's the creator of Python. That's Guido or Guido or the Guido. That's the creator of Python right there.
is it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't it tell you? No, it doesn't tell you anything. Oh, yes, it does. Guido van Razum is the creator of the Python programming language. Yeah, that's funny. What? So what does he say about it? Because Python doesn't have $. Wait, they're talking.
No.
They're honestly talking PHP.
Yeah, well, they end up talking about various languages and especially why the $ has become part of programming. But it's one of that I just never thought about. It's just how I like it being there. To me, it makes it more readable, knowing that it's a variable. But I guess not everyone feels the same way. And
I like it.
And it was in Discord doesn't like the backslash and namespace operators, and I'm curious why you thought that. I've never had an issue with that one either.
Yeah.
Like separating out the namespace.
Oh, because it might look like
now
a
in
copy.
stereo. I think I got you. I think I got that fixed. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, what happened? You had me mono or in one?
No, I
Only one
had
channel?
to. Yeah, I was playing when I started playing the browser. I was trying to see if I could get the audio through it, but whatever. You should be all fixed now. Yeah. So wait, somebody had a problem with. Oh, I see. A Woods. The $ variable doesn't bother me, but the backslash for the namespace operator, that's the worst. I'm curious why that is. I don't know.
So that leads into the next video that I found, which is naming things in code.
Naming things in code.
I've had the worst problem with this recently.
What do you mean naming things in code?
Just variable names in general, like how to name things, where to put code. And it was another just interesting watch in almost like a history lesson in code. And even within our magazine, we have one of our writers who often uses R for repository, I for interface, and it's just that's an kind of an older school way of doing things. I know Java does that a lot, or Java developers do that a lot.
I thought Java was the infinitely long names for everything.
They do, yeah, that as well.
It's one or the other.
But nowadays there's no need for it, and I like what this person said about it in the sense that we have much better typing now. We don't develop on narrow monitors. Most of us have widescreen monitors for that matter, and the length of the line doesn't matter, right? You can name things. We have autocomplete within our IDEs. There's no reason to use abbreviations, one-letter variable names.
So more memory now.
Yeah, just an interesting watch overall.
I had an interesting issue with the big project I'm working on, which is that we're doing a sort of a big refactor for what we call organizations. And the meeting that was going to discuss what do we name this new thing that's replacing organizations was an absolute headache. Because we actually already had a 2.0. So there was actually a legacy system called organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a new system called Org 2.0. And I'm working on what is called the 4.0 version. And I just didn't want to use the word organization at all. Wanted to just strip it out and say, this is the new thing, new product, new thing. And have you ever tried to come up with a synonym for organization?
No, but I would argue that's not a great idea to change it.
Why? You sound like you're coming from experience there, John.
I'm a month and a half in it now, Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, no, just when you go down the road of DDD, which I am not good at, I am hoping to get some good talks at PHP Tech on
So
DDD.
many. Mm-hmm.
But you should mirror the language that is used within the business. And if the business calls it an organization, you should probably use that within your code. But I understand where you're coming from, where it's overused or used the wrong way in the code. And now you're going to have the old stuff that's called an organization that may not be correct. And then the new stuff.
Yeah.
So while it's not easy,
I
yeah.
settled
Yeah.
on institution, which by reading the room everyone hated and still
Sounds
hates.
crazy.
Yeah.
So you're using institution in the code, but the business people are going to call it an organization?
Actually, I'm calling it an institution on the business side as well. And sort of declaring that it has to be different because we have tools that are just called manage organization. We can't have a manage organization 2 or 3 or 4. It has to be considered a different product mentally for the people who are managing it, because we are supporting the older system and the new system. So when someone is using the new product, it really is a different product, and they have to think of it that way.
Interesting.
But that'll be interesting to see how that goes in the future. Like, does it stick? Because changing employees, like, vernacular and how they deal with things is not easy to do.
Yeah, I know.
Well, speaking of new products, let's pay some bills.
This video is brought to you by Cloudways. We are all developers and love to write code, but managing the servers that code runs on can be a time-consuming and error-prone process. Cloudways helps you spend less time managing your servers and more time doing what you really want to do: coding. You only need one account to manage servers on multiple platforms and for multiple customers. Pick just the server size and location that makes the most sense for you and your customers. You can even estimate your costs for your server before spinning it up. Cloudways offers peace of mind and flexibility so you can focus on growing your business instead of dealing with server management. With Cloudways, you get an optimized stack, managed servers, backups, a staging environment, integrated Git, pre-configured Composer, 24/7 support, and a choice of 5 different cloud providers: Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, Linode, Google Cloud, and Vultr. Get a discount of 20% for 3 months using the code PHPARCH. Check them out today.
Thank you,
So,
Cloudways.
Thank you, Cloudways. Tom, circling back a little bit on your issue, I think I can top you on that. Not to whine and complain too much about clients, because they do pay our bills, and I'm very happy. But we actually had a client that wanted to review the variable names we were using in the application, because certain names meant certain things in their industry, and they wanted to see what variable make sure we were using the right variable names to describe things. It's like,
Oof.
What? It's the code. You shouldn't know any of this,
So just print out the tokenized version. Run the JIT compiler.
God, what a great idea that would have been.
Tokenized version and send it to them.
Jeez.
The abstract syntax tree.
Yeah.
AST, nice. You brought up DDD, John. That was so DDD. We got a lot of DDD for PHP Tech. A lot of talks in DDD, which I'm excited about. And I'm lumping event sourcing in with that. Maybe not correctly, but I am. Got a good amount of Laravel talks, which I'm happy about. So many exciting talks. I'm really looking forward to this.
But I don't use Laravel anymore, so it's hard for me to get excited.
Get excited about all the other talks.
I am.
It's not a Laravel specific conference, but Laravel will be there for sure.
So we've closed call for papers. Are we still doing blind early bird for a little bit, or what's the plan here? What are the timelines we're looking at here?
So we get the not easy task now of choosing the schedule for PHP Tech. How long is that going to take? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I would like to say, a week or two. Let's say 2 weeks, and then we, once we establish the schedule, blind early bird goes away. Right. That's the whole point. Is right now you can save money if you know you're going to go to Tech no matter what. Buy your ticket now, because as soon as we announce the schedule, prices will go up. And I can tell you from the presentations or the submissions, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be great speakers, great topics. If you have any interest in going to the conference, buy now.
Yeah, that's something else that I've been a little surprised. We've gotten some
purchases. Yeah, we got way more than I thought we'd get at this point, so I'm excited.
Yeah. We can be clear here that Kanye is not going to be there.
Who?
Kanye West isn't invited. He's not coming.
Oh, Yee?
Yeah, he's invited. I'm not going to say no if he buys a ticket.
Okay, so
I guess he's bringing a friend. I heard
you
he's
haven't
bringing a
followed the
friend.
news this morning? Because no, he's definitely not invited.
Oh, if he buys a ticket, I can't make him not go.
Yeah, you can.
As long as he
as
long as he doesn't violate the COC.
He has.
Yeah, he will. He already has.
He did today several times.
Was today the Alex Jones
Yes.
thing? Or
Yeah, that's bad.
I hope somebody gets him some help, because I really feel like he's having some sort of mental episode and he needs somebody to step in.
I guess I need to look at the latest news, because I don't watch the news. I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
It might be better that way, to be quite honest with you. I wish I didn't know what was going on.
I've been following a series of blankisgoinggreat.com websites, like twitterisgoinggreat.com or web 3.0 is goinggreat.com, because they just really summarize the dumpster fires that have been going on all over the internet. But yeah, it's been a rough day for pop stars.
All right, you brought up Twitter. Let's talk about Twitter. First thing, let me ask you a question. Do you think Twitter's dying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It definitely seems to be dying amongst developers.
I don't mean it's dying like popularity wise. I mean the company is going to run out of money and Twitter is going to close its doors.
I got to be honest with you. Had you said that a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, I would say, no, there's no way. But then I was thinking about today. It's like, man, how many things have died that I thought would like never die, like Flash, Adobe Flash, or AOL. It's like there's no way, they're too big. Like everybody uses AOL. There's no way they can not be a thing.
AOL bought Yahoo, also died.
I was like that died as well too.
Yeah.
So
Dig died.
Dig.
Slashdot, which I thought was going to be a forever product because
Slashdot. Yeah. GitHub killed that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we think is never going to die, and I've never seen a product get ruined to the point where I would say no one will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Where like when Dig basically lost out to Reddit, somebody bought Dig and sort of refactored and rebuilt it and tried to give it a new spin. Yahoo still technically exists. People don't use it, but it's part of a media conglomerate that maintains it. But like Twitter, totally, I could just see it within a year just saying like, yeah, closing the doors, kicking everyone out, can't maintain it.
And it's funny because you see so many people, especially again, we're talking about developers who are like, I'm sorry, I'm not moving over to Mastodon, and I'm like, you shouldn't say that, because that's actually really kind of lit right now. Like, it is what Twitter was 10 years ago. I mean, there's so many people have gotten over to Mastodon, a Mastodon instance. So keep in mind, it's not one place. It's a decentralized social platform,
which makes it
takes
harder to understand at times.
right. It takes some wrapping your head around. Like again, I talked about Spotify dying earlier this week. And this has become habit for me. Like if something's not responding, the first thing I do is go to Twitter and see if people are talking about it. And I'm not sure how to do that on Mastodon. And I'm not sure that visibility is on Mastodon yet. Like I just don't know if it's there. But I am really digging Mastodon. And matter of fact, I like it so much. Ben Ramsey and I were talking about it. I was on. So Ben Ramsey has one of the most popular Mastodon instances in the PHP community, which is phpc.social. I sent the invite out to it probably a dozen times on this show. Really encourage people to go over. And if you haven't, I'm still encouraging you to go over there. They even had to stop accepting new accounts for a while because they had outgrown their server so quickly and they had to do some scaling. So that was the thing. But Ben Ramsey and I were talking about it, and he was, I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to spin one up for PHP Architect, but I'm not like, I don't want like a commercial entity, Mastodon instance. And he actually talked me into it in the sense that he was like, hey, but that's different. Like having that be where people who are associated PHP Architect have their identity, and they can contribute to other Mastodon instances. You can still contribute to the PHP phpc.social one, but it makes sense from that, and also it makes sense from like a business perspective as far as like PHP Architect. We have a Twitter account, but it's never been verified, right? So it's like, but now if we're hosting our own Mastodon instance, it's kind of like verification on steroids at that point. And then I think his final words is, anything to get you out of my life, Eric, I would encourage you to do. And
how do I get you off phpc.social?
So so not only did I spin one up, which was kind of fun because I was looking for a service. It's funny because the service that he uses for PHPC, they're like, hey, we're not taking any more accounts. Like we're peaked. I mean, I have no more hardware. I've gotta figure this out. So they shut down. So it's open source. You can spin up your own. So I just spinned up our own account, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm on it. I did a migration from PHPC over to phparch.social, and it wasn't too bad. I didn't, I would have liked to have moved my toots, or that's what they call tweets on Mastodon. You can do that. But I created Mastodon accounts for tech. I created Mastodon accounts. I created a general one, which again on Twitter it was PHP Arch, but I didn't want PHP Arch at phparch.social because in the Fediverse, which is where Mastodon lives, you have to you add your domain to the username that explains where your home base is. So it knows to go to phparch.social to look up Eric. So I didn't want to do PHP Arch at phparch.social. So I ended up doing hello at phparch.social. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that, but tech was easier. Tech went really nice, actually. It was tech at phparch.social. So right now it's just employees. It's not open for anybody to join. If I can keep it up and running for a week, I might open it up to contributors to like the magazine, or if you're a speaker or anything like that. And if I can keep it up for, I don't know, 6 months, And I need to upgrade it too. I actually installed an older version, so I need to get it upgraded. If I get it upgraded, I don't know. Maybe
Have you figured out
subscribers.
the federation piece where like messages flow between the multiple instances?
So, let me see. What do I want to say? Ben told me not to worry about that. He's like, because essentially what it is the way we're using it. So since it's not like a general place for people to go on and like look for streams, we're using it as an identity source, right? So like you go on, you're still following your people on all your other servers, right? So that populates your timeline. Fine. I mean that all works.
So if I follow let's say I follow Ramsey's account on PHP Social, I will see it on our PHP Arch instance.
Yep. It's funny because I was on PHP social, PHPC.social for I don't know 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. I got on a couple years ago, and I never really bothered to keep track of who was following me because it wasn't clear to me how to track that, and nobody followed me. I mean, there wasn't that many people on there. When I migrated, I looked at my followers and I'm like, holy crap, there's so many people here. Like there's so many people following me that are like big names in the PHP community. I'm just like, follow back, and just going up the line. So my stream now is looking good.
But did you migrate all that over to your PHP Arch account? Or is you still on your PHP Social account? PHPC.
So what you do is there's a way to migrate it. So what happens is I go to I think the pattern is you go to PHPC and you say, are you go to PHP architect.social, PHP arch.social and say, hey, I'm going to migrate an account to this account. And you prep your profile for that. Then you go over to PHPC and you say, I want to migrate this account to another account. You put in that information and it just so all it does is moves all your followers over, and anybody who is following you on phpc.social are automatically following you on phparch.social.
Interesting.
So all your followers, they don't have to update their stuff. It just automatically gets updated. And if they go to your profile on phpc.social, it says, hey, this account has been moved to phparch.social. And you just go over there. So one thing I did, and I'm going to encourage people to think honestly about doing this. When I created my account on phpc.social, I used my handle Showcome. For the same reason I use Showcome everywhere. It's an easy account for me to grab. Nobody uses it. Eric, on the other hand, very tough to grab. Eric Johnson, not that much easier. And even Eric Van Johnson is a difficult handle to get, username to get. PHP Social, boom, Eric, But when I was going through the people who are following me, there's still people like using their handles that I didn't recognize their handles from Twitter. So I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but they're following me, so I kind of want to follow them, but I don't want to like dirty up my timeline, so I don't know if I should be following them. And yeah, it's a whole thing.
So Discord and I want to know how much your Mastodon instance is costing.
So I spun it up on DigitalOcean. So it's the server is what I'm paying for. And I probably went bigger than I needed to go because I looked at the service, and for the service, I was willing to pay about $30 a month. And so that's what I spun up on the server. I'm like, okay, well, I'll pay $30 a month at DigitalOcean. And that was actually a pretty big box for DigitalOcean. So especially I don't know. Maybe if we open it up to subscribers one day, maybe that won't be that big of a box, but yeah, so I'm paying $30 a month, but I mean, you can run it on a Raspberry Pi if you're doing like your a family Mastodon account. I don't think there's a whole lot to it.
Now, as much as I appreciate what Mastodon is doing, it does have that weird barrier to entry. And you were saying, like, when you want to know what's up with something, you go to Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you like find out, hey, is this service really down or what? But I'll tell you what my kids do. They go to Discord. And Discord,
I thought you were leading into Honey Badger, man. I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna like queue up Honey Badger for me.
oh, I forgot.
No. that's fine.
Discord is
Go ahead.
positioned very well to take over Twitter's place.
Oh,
because
I don't know if I agree with that.
It does have that at server naming convention that Mastodon has. So I'm definitely like Tom in our Discord channel, and I'm flagged as an administrator. So like the things I say are higher priority in our Discord channel. The only issue is that Discord, to sort of interact in any way, you have to join someone else's server, which brings in all this other garbage with it. All of the different sub-channels they've created, all of the different users and all that stuff. And if you were to take that out of it and say that when the owner of a server comments and you're subscribed to that server, then you get that as a main thread. And people responding to it are threaded as comments underneath it.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you. First thing, have you tried using threads in Discord? You
Oh, it's
lose
not great.
conversations all the time.
Yeah, not great. Threads in Slack, I've started using all the time, and they've gotten much better.
Mhm.
But really, Twitter is just a threaded, slow chat room. And I like the idea of adding in the server or the domain to the system, because it is, like you said, a sort of a self-validating way of doing things.
Yeah, I guess I see Discord as more of an echo chamber than I would a Mastodon account.
It is. It is an echo chamber, but it's because of the way that you're forced to interact with people that you're not subscribed to. If you change that, and Discord has a huge amount of monetization functionality. They've got Nitro, and just yesterday they introduced a new like Patreon style tier system that you can implement in your own Discord server. So they've got a ton of motion, horizontal motion they could take to sort of take over Twitter.
All right, let me get our other sponsor out of the way, because we do appreciate them. This is one we also pay for, so I do like Honey Badger a lot. Let's get their commercial in here.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honey Badger. It's easy to install Honey Badger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honey Badger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Thank you, Honey Badger.
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger. I wanted to come back. Oh, yeah. A-Woods. Dude, I wish you were around when I was doing this. @editors@phparch.social would have made a whole hell of a lot more sense than hello.
Well, it turns out you can migrate an account.
I wonder if I can just change. I should be able to update the username, right? Like that should be a thing. Maybe I'll
That
do
or
that.
you do the migration you were just talking about. I mean, I
should
learned
be able
about
to have
migrating about
multiple.
10 minutes ago.
You should be able to be the same person on multiple domains.
Rewind 10 minutes, you can listen to that section.
No, not just migrate, but literally be the same person. Like it's always the
Why,
same person.
why would you want to do that? So, all right. So this brings up a good question for you. Professionally, for PHP Architect, we use a service that allows us to post to multiple services at one time. So we queue up, tweets for whatever, magazines, articles, tech, that sort of thing. It's a useful service. None of them supports Mastodon right now. How long do you think it's going to take before that changes?
24 hours.
I was thinking
the
within the next 6 months for sure, but so that's interesting because with the service we've tried a couple of the services, and a couple of years ago it used to be if you had multiple Twitter handles, you could write a post and post to all the Twitter handles at the same time. And a couple of years ago, Twitter did away with that. They axed it. So I can post to Twitter. I can post to multiple Facebook groups and LinkedIn and all that other stuff, but I can only post to one Twitter account. So if I have multiple handles, I basically have to queue up multiple tweets on each handle. Mastodon, and they did that for spamming, right? They didn't want these platforms getting spammed by 15 bot handles that all posted about this new cryptocurrency or something.
And it worked, and spam is dead.
Mastodon, like you said, you can have multiple accounts on multiple Mastodon instances. So I don't know. I don't see how they could prevent people from posting to multiple Mastodon instances, because they could be completely different, like subject matters.
I think because it's decentralized, you're not trying to get into an algorithm, right? I'm only seeing the stuff that of people I am following. So if I don't follow your content, I'm not going to see it. And I think that's supposed to be what's making it better, right? It's not, Twitter's not forcing ads or other people's content into my feed that I don't care about.
Oh, yeah, that's something else we haven't even touched on yet. There's no ads. There are no ads on Mastodon, which is fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic, except that now you have to pay for your server, and there's no way you can recoup your money.
That's not true. PHP Social is recouping.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's a community thing. So they opened up. It's actually on this the same open foundation, the same place that PHP itself is getting funding. They created an account there, and the community is supporting Ben Ramsey's phpc.social service.
Oh, I'm not seeing any of this money.
And again,
shocker.
Maybe making it a perk to subscribing to the magazine would be enough to encourage somebody to actually subscribe to the magazine. Who knows? And
yeah, then you got to start moderating and stuff, and like what do you?
Unfortunately,
what's it
we
cost,
have a
$8?
whole group of developers working for us. So yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you have to be willing to take on that responsibility. It's not for everybody, for sure. So it's definitely something that you need to consider. Whether or not you have the time for, and anything you're interested in doing it. And to be real, I mean, PHPC is probably unique as far as how many people are on it. And I know there's some open source ones that have a ton of people as well. But if PHP Ugly were to start one, we would have the people in Discord on there. You know what I mean? It's like, but people don't just go create accounts for no particular reason.
I would like to hear from Ramsey, and hopefully we get to talk to him soon about it. about that, because I think he mentioned moderation. But if we go back to you don't see content that you don't follow, does it really matter? Like, what's other
No.
than
But if you were running it as the magazine, you wouldn't want people picking inappropriate usernames at phparch.social.
right? No, I agree.
You know, it's. I mean, the thing is that it's a good way of doing things, but it's missing a lot of features that I like that Twitter has. So, sort of like, why wouldn't I use Twitter as long as it still exists?
Yeah, what features? Like, what anything specific that you
Discovery, trending.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I don't like finding individuals. I like sort of seeing stuff reposted and then going, oh, that person's interesting, or
That's true.
seeing it, following a trend and saying like, oh, I didn't realize that the protest in China is getting drowned out by porn being flooded by the Chinese government. That's bizarre. True story, that happened this week. So like,
that's a good point. Valid.
yeah, and then, you know, like you were saying, you know, if you can keep it running for 6 months, then maybe it's the thing that you'll want to do. But like, who's going to sign up for Eric's maybe it'll be here tomorrow, maybe it won't service,
Right.
to act as their social media hub? So it's there's a lot of, you know, a decentralized works great in theory if you are okay with getting rid of the features of a centralized system, which I like those features.
Open Collective is what it was called, John. Not Open Foundation.
Whoops.
Yeah. I was going nuts. I'm like, what was that called? What was that called?
Also,
it's the PHP Foundation on Open Collective.
Yeah.
My friend and I were watching football this week.
I'm sorry.
And there was an ad for Meta, formerly Facebook, that was just trying to explain that personalized advertising is what people want, and you want it too.
Oh, okay.
And neither of us could quite understand who thought that this was a good idea for an ad campaign for a social network, which is like, we provide the best ads, like just you custom ads. But
yeah, just talk about something and we'll know about it and we'll start feeding you ads.
Someone
That's
out
still
there
so freaky.
Thought, hey, you know, everyone says when they mention mattress, all of a sudden they're getting mattress ads on Facebook. What if that was a feature?
We're gonna tell you it's a feature, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna hear mattress ads for the next 2 weeks.
Exactly. Try to buy a house. Facebook starts showing you all these property, you know, these real estate postings. I was like, how do you know I'm trying to buy a house? Jeez. Okay, we have one more group of people we need to thank. It's our Patreons on Patreon. Look at that. It's a new month. It's a new background.
Can't finish humming that song or else we'll get copyright strike.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you to all our Patreons on Patreon. And if you want to be a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/PHPugly.
You
It's
even got
that
the
easy.
Christmassy colors there.
I do.
Nice.
I do. I might change the background as we get closer to the holidays. I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, but be nice. You just figure out what all the holidays are and try to get one each week, maybe. I don't know. Man.
Don't forget Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us?
Yeah, just a static image of a stripper pole.
Hey, look at that. We're contributors to PHPC. Look at that. We're the top contributor, John.
No way.
We are the top contributor. Well, we're tied for top contributor, PHPC.
Yeah, but no one knows what 19FT is.
Exactly. I thought that was
Or-
cool.
Or whatever a Chris Hartjes is.
I know. Did you see that? Freaking Chris has got that book money. Like he's got like the dollars coming. Yeah.
Doesn't even care enough to put like a profile picture up.
Oh man. All right. Okay. Feel like we're running a little long. But
I have to cover the PHP framework bumping thing.
absolutely.
I saw this article and I thought, what the hell are they talking about? How all frameworks can bump to PHP 8.1 and you can keep using older PHP.
Sounds too
Rector
good
is
to be true.
That doesn't make any sense. So Laravel is going to be using Symfony, or Laravel 9 uses Symfony 6, which requires 8.1 as its minimal version. So you can't run PHP 8 and Laravel 9. But the people at
Rector.
Rector?
Rector.
Boy.
Yep.
If you
Rector.
if you
Daniel
if you
killed
read if you read PHP Architect magazine, you would know about Rector.
Which of course I do. I just thought it was Reactor. So apparently, this tool can downgrade a framework. So places where it supports features that don't exist yet in the previous PHP version,
Mm-hmm.
it will do a kind of a refactor or what is it called when you have a bridge component? Anyways, so it creates this .php config that has a downgrade functionality set that downgrades things that your framework uses in the newest version of PHP, and then it releases it with a tailing version number on your GitHub repo. So if you're releasing library 6.0.0, it will create 6.0.0.80 and 6.0.0.81. And Composer will check the version of PHP that you're running and try to find a compatibly backported version of whatever it is you're looking to download.
That's pretty cool.
So I know people. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the magazine that it was in was called "It's Really an Upgrade." The
Mhm.
feature article was all about Rector and how you can use it to downgrade code. So you can write your code using the latest syntax, but have it output in versions that other people can use, which is great for frameworks, libraries, packages, where you don't have to always be up to date.
Yeah, so the trick that they've added here in this article is running it as a GitHub action. So whenever you release a new version, it will automatically execute the downgrade and tag it as the downgraded version so that you can still use it.
So the cool thing about that is that you talked about frameworks, and I'm a little suspicious about this. I think they're leaning Rector heavy because it's on a domain called getrector.org. But if you're a package maintainer, that would apply. What you just kind of explain applies for packages as well.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, so this behavior, if you want to create multiple releases of the same product that has downgrades on it, you can write your own scripts to do that kind of behavior as well, and just tag them with a trailing tag of the version you want to support. So you could do this for Laravel 10 or Laravel 9 or Laravel 8 and have that backwards compatibility. So yeah, they do lean heavily on like frameworks can do this. And I think they're sort of asking framework developers to do this.
So I can see pros and cons of it. Like I like it as well. Like I think it's a good idea, but then you're also potentially encouraging people not to upgrade their version of PHP. Yep. I I feel like some of the libraries I want to use and the fact that they're only available on latest versions of 8 makes me more apt to upgrade than if those things were available in 7.4.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine if you have a developer who can't get like off PHP 4, you know? Is it really that bad of a thing to say, okay, we're moving our package forward? The you know
Right.
the level we really want you guys at is 8, and that's one we're going to support. But if you're on 7.1, here's a version of it you can use.
Right.
Well, and JavaScript's been doing this for a long time. I think is it Bower?
Bower is a JavaScript thing. It hasn't been used in a long time, but I mean, I shouldn't say it hasn't been used by other people. I used to use it and haven't used it in forever.
Yeah. Boy. Polyfills. Transpilers and polyfills. And libraries, I mean, Laravel has polyfills for version stuff in it, where it checks for if this function is defined, and if not, create it and use it. Which, with the 8.1 requirement, I don't know if you still need any of those polyfills. They could probably get removed at this point, but there's lots of scripts that exist for JavaScript that creates polyfills for you, because we had all these issues with browser support back in the day, where you had to have a page that was written in modern JavaScript but was compatible with Internet Explorer 7.
That's a good point.
And this is very much the same problem, which is if you're writing a library or a package, you don't want to exclude people running 7.4. Maybe you're a jerk.
But you also want to take advantage of all the latest and greatest in PHP 8.2.
Right. So, that's it's really up to the developer if they feel like doing polyfills for stuff like this, but it doesn't seem like a bad idea to me to support older versions.
No, for the most part, it's not. And this is all doable thanks to PHP's abstract syntax tree. I know we've said it like every episode the past few weeks, but it's a huge component, and it's like crazy how much I've learned about it just from the magazine.
Last couple of months, yeah, that was it. That was a good little series we had going there. I like that. What about speaking of the magazine? When can we expect the next release, John?
Hopefully in the next week.
Next week? That's
Hopefully.
good. I think it's a reasonable goal there.
We're still waiting on an article.
Oh, that's right. We are. It wasn't mine, right?
No.
Okay.
You should have just said yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh man.
You reached out to them yesterday, and then I did it again today, and they said they were working on it. So
yeah. All right. We'll get it out. We knew it was going to be holidays and everything, people traveling. It was going to be, next couple of months going to be tough.
Yep.
And my God.
Actively in layout as we speak. I've been helping a little bit with that.
If you have any history with PHP Architect, as John and I did even before we took over operations of it, just about everybody you talk to who did a feature article, you'd ask, so what made you think to write for PHP Architect? And it was always the same answer. Well, I submitted a talk to Tech, and Oscar, they couldn't accept the talk, so Oscar asked if I wanted to write an article. I understand now. I understand that whole approach, man. We have like a gold mine of great, because so many of these talks are so good. I am. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to try to pick and choose.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's-
so stressful.
You're saying the exact opposite of what I was thinking. It sounds like it's going to be searching through 1,500 submissions to find the best one to write the article now.
Well,
Yeah.
so the cool part about the service we're using is the scoring system is interesting. So it's still going to take a lot of work, but at least we'll be able to rank things, rank the submissions, and then from there figure it out.
All right. I think that's a good spot to wrap things up. That's it for episode 313. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it up.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
So if you're still listening and you're hanging out with us after the show, Eric, John, Frank, Tech, hello, PHP Ugly, PHP Roundtable, at phparch.social. You can follow all those people no matter what Mastodon instance you're on. You should do it at Eric at phparch.social or PHP Ugly at phparch.social. It'll find the account and hook you in. So yeah. PHP Ugly, PHP Roundtable, Eric, John, you know, what
Tom.
else? Oh, Tech, Tom. I'll put you on there, Tom. You wanna?
No, he was very anti-Mastodon on this episode, so I would say no.
No, you got turned down. Sorry, that door was slammed in your face, Tom.
I was not anti-Mastodon.
You sounded very anti-Mastodon.
Just there are other things I think about when it comes to Mastodon, Twitter stuff. Call me out like that, jeez.
Actually, I don't know if you have to do it like this or like how you had it, John, but one of those two will work. Let me get that in there. Let's see, PHP Ugly too. This is the Ugly Discord. I really want to change that hello to editor now. It makes so much more sense.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I can change the username. I just might have to create another account. was such a good idea.
So now, if your editor at phparch.social and someone comments on something that you post, do I see their comments if I'm not subscribed to them?
If you're subscribed to editor, you would, because it would be a reply to.
Okay, so that's also
editor.
that's also the spam problem, because most of the spam problem was replies.
I mean, I'm assuming, to be honest with you. I guess that would be a good thing to test. I do not know. And now that you mention it, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to manage, because like with Twitter, you could have multiple handles on your interface. So I go to Twitter and I open up my little, switch between accounts that can see which ones have replies. I'll just pop in and clean up. What happened?
I did the move, and all of a sudden my Mastodon just started like.
Oh yeah, you got to mute that.
Well, it's done.
Champ bought himself a 60-second timeout.
Yes, Champ. Yes, Thomas PFY. Yeah,
you can't really time out people. Turn that off.
It's just 60 seconds. Dude, Elon Musk banned someone from Twitter this week for saying Elon Musk should pay his taxes. That got them Twitter ban.
But he want Champ is in there anyway.
Oh damn it!
That was fantastic.
What's the punishment for ban evasion? Because I think that's worse.
I thought Musk was all about wanting free speech. Can't be banned for anything.
Turns out,
well,
free speech
and
cost
didn't
him
Musk
$44 billion, and now he's
didn't
angry.
Musk
about it.
also pay? What isn't he the individual who paid the most taxes last year? Like the single individual to pay the most taxes?
Kind of.
Hmm.
It happened because he had to do an emergency sale of his Tesla stock, so he didn't have the time to bury it.
Oh, interesting.
So he also isn't it's bad.
I don't know. I'm happy. I'm getting more and more comfortable on Mastodon. I'll be completely honest with you, but managing the Mastodon accounts for Editor and Tech and PHP Ugly and PHP Roundtable, talking through that's actually going to be a little challenging. I need to think about how we're going to do that, or how we're going to do that.
So when you move your account, you don't automatically refollow all those people, huh?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, because I now see that they now follow me, but I have to click follow on it.
And you were following them before?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. I thought mine had followed. Oh no. So when you migrated, you weren't following anybody?
On PHP Arch.social, I was not following people. On PHP Social, I was. And when I moved to followers, it moved them all, but it didn't update my followers. Or who I was following.
Yeah, I thought mine had, but I could be wrong there. I don't remember now. I was doing so much stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
Well, I will just start hitting my little plus.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. And like I said, once I started following everybody, there's so many people I didn't realize were on there. It got my stream got just so much content in there now. Good content, not bad. Good content. And it's still weird to see messages from Sarah, like, "Oh, social media platform, let her on."
I think that's everybody. Cool. All right, now I need to update my actual Mastodon app.
Yeah, so PHP C is on version 4 or something, and we're on 3.5. Now, I don't think it's a lot to upgrade, but there's no directions. Like, I went to the Mastodon site and said, okay, to do an upgrade, do a git fetch and then git check out the branch of the version you want, and then follow the upgrade guide in the README. I'm like, there's no upgrade guide in the README. Like, what am I supposed to do here? The database, changes that need to be made, or
Sacrifice a male virgin.
It's a little bit of a black box, which I'm not super happy about. It's running Postgres. It's a Rails app. It's pod all over again.
We sound tired. We're post show at this point.
Yeah, man. Things are. It's late. I don't know where you're at, champ, but it's late here, dude.
I thought the content during the show was more upbeat, not so tired.
Yeah.
Now we're just hanging out.
This is nothing. This all gets cut.
We did not do timestamps for ads, I noticed.
Damn it, John, you had one job.
I know. 1:30.
Maybe I'll just
over on the East Coast.
Yeah.
For those still listening, I know Awood's brought up the point that some people haven't bought their tickets because they're hoping their talks will be selected. Don't worry, we will not make you pay the increased price.
You should have brought that up on the show. Make a ticket for that and remind yourself to talk about that next week.
All right.
I mean, that's a nice thing we're doing.
Yeah, I don't think it matters next week at that point.
Well, everybody who thought they should have submitted a talk, they would have a little bit more time on the blind early bird special.
That's true. That's true.
Mute it, Tom. We can't hear you.
Did you see the Indiana Jones trailer?
What? Post, please. Link, please.
I have to warn you, it has an incredibly stupid name.
Is it real? Don't give me a bogus link.
The Dial of Destiny.
Well, the glass skull one, it can't be any worse than that. I kind of
don't tempt fate like that. Could very easily be. He's de-aged for half the movie.
I was a big Indiana Jones fan. Oh, he's back. Man, he's looking old.
He looks the same.
Not Harrison Ford, his buddy.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, we're all watching the trailer. Champ, yes, we all have a stream deck.
Well, so the list of trailers today is pretty nuts because it's
I guess I could be playing this on screen.
Indiana Jones. No, don't
Oh
play it
no,
on screen. Don't play
we
it on
don't want to
stream.
be we don't want to be banned or copyright.
It's a public. It's a public.
They'll ban you.
God.
to- So Indiana Jones, Cocaine Bear, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Ant-Man 3 all released trailers today.
What's that?
Indiana Jones, Cocaine Bear, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Ant-Man 3 all dropped trailers today.
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, but Champ, yes, I think we all have a stream deck.
I said that already. You were too busy listening to Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay. And we are. John and I are on Linux, and I mean it's we don't have the fancy Stream Deck's official Stream Deck software like Tom has, but
Like some people.
there's a open source Stream Deck app, and it takes a little bit more configuring, but it's doable. I all that controlling I was doing in the OBS, all that was through Stream Deck, all buttons on my Stream Deck. So it's very, very easy. Matter of fact, let me see. Not that. Here, give you a sneak peek here at my layout. Yeah, let me see if this one right here maybe. Yeah. So this is my Stream Deck layout. So I these are all buttons, and then I actually have more buttons. See, if I click something, actually I can click this. I can click this. That won't change. So these are all the Harry Mac stuff, commercials, Patreon. Come back over here, and this has. I have, as you see, I have 5 layers up here. So like my primary layer is like this. This is where I live my life. And then when I go to PHP Ugly, I click into here. Oh, yeah. So this is when Tom is streaming. This allows me to change my camera. How close my camera is. I think it should still work, right? So if I do this, yeah. If you look at my video, my zoom is changing. Right, clicking
Well,
that.
they don't see that with what you're sharing right now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Do they?
I just If you look at watch my
Oh,
video.
okay. Yeah.
So that's all there. And then when I'm handling the stream, I click into OBS, and these are all the streams. So if I click any of these, like this is my focus one. So when I click this, you see I'm focused, and yeah. So it all works, and this is what it looks like. You basically just have this command. You have to do this XD tool is the real kind of thing. So yeah, it works. It just, like I said, with everything else Linux, it just takes a little bit more configuring. It's not impossible. All right. Kind of want to just be lazy and grab the YouTube stream and do the audio. And then I don't have to worry about the commercials. I don't know. I don't think my Dropbox is running either. I noticed. We'll see. All right.
So I was at dinner with my wife and kids earlier today, and we got a severe weather notice that she was going to be late start at school tomorrow. We were very confused because that means a snow day usually.
Right.
But tomorrow it's going to be like 55 degrees all day.
Okay.
So we look up the notice, and it says winds up to 95 miles an hour.
Oof.
From basically like a little bit north of where we are down to the border of Mexico. I tried to look it up on CNN, and they're like not covering it, but the National Weather Service is like, yeah, do not screw around with this wind. It's going to hurt you.
All right.
Yeah, champ, it's Rocket League time. You gonna play? I'll play a few games with you.
Look at you.
I cannot kick my wife off the couch. She is pending surgery for her back.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, that's a rough thing to have to do surgery for.
Yeah. It's the had her second opinion today, and we demanded as a surgery as soon as possible. So we're getting surgery on the 23rd.
Oh, hope it goes well.
What else?
Doesn't sound fun.
Guardians, Ant-Man, Indy. What else?
Cocaine Bear. Whatever
Cocaine
that
Bear,
is.
yes.
What is that?
The inspired by a true story of a drug cartel that dropped several kilos of cocaine out of a plane, which was found by a brown bear or a black bear, which ate several kilos of cocaine and went on a rampage and then died.
Okay. Is this a movie like a lot of people were excited to see, or?
So it's based on a meme from a while ago, where it's just sort of like a picture of the headline of the story, and then just the quote that like at one point this was the greatest apex predator in the world's history. But the bear is real. It's like in a museum. They got it stuffed and put it in a museum, and someone wrote a fictional story around the whole event and made a movie out of it, which is a Paramount movie. Like, it's not a small indie studio. It is a big studio behind it with lots of VFX and stuff. It's baffling. So apparently it was popular enough that like some studio decided to make it, and it looks insane and funny.
Sarah, we talked about you on the stream, on the actual show. We're post show now, but you were mentioned a couple times, I think.
Yeah. I guess I can't spoil things too much, but I'm excited for submissions.
Did you, John? Did you see the references we were making to Kanye?
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta look this up.
Yeah, let me just send you one link real quick.
Don't put that in Discord though.
I'm not. I'm just sending it straight to John.
All
We
right.
will not have that happening.
Like I said, I hope he gets help. I hope somebody steps in and helps
It's
him
more than
because
that. It's.
I
mean, like the thing that the internet keeps bringing up is that this isn't just bipolar behavior. This is somebody being, manipulated and influenced by very bad people.
All right. Yeah, I'll check that out later.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's been a downward spiral, and hopefully this is the bottom. Hopefully.
All right. I'm calling it.
all right. Thanks for hanging out with us, Discord.
Thank you, everybody.